Hey guys, so our farm is growing and we are growing along with it. You guys do remember the days when we had just started, and I couldn't walk all this distance without getting done with the entire farm. Right now, I'm moving to that poultry house right there in the distance, and you can see how far it is from the poultry house in the distance right here. Now it seems like it's coming to rain, and it's not something that I like right now. It's not a great idea for me right now, because if you guys can see right here, this is a garden of alfalfa that we are currently harvesting. Yeah, so in case you're wondering what alfalfa is, it's a grass, yeah, some form of grass that's fed to, like, you know, ruminants, cattle, goats, sheep, and all those things. So there's people harvesting it right there in the distance. I want it to dry so that we can bale it and feed it to the goats. But with this rain coming up like this, it seems like our chances of it drying are very low. Luckily enough though, the weather forecast for tomorrow seems like it's going to be dry. And even later today, we shouldn't be having rain, at least according to the weather forecast. But the weather doesn't listen to the weather forecast. It does what it wants, isn't it? Yeah? So guys, let's go and check out our birds. I have 5,000 chickens inside this area. Oh my God, it's really coming to rain. I can feel it falling on me. And if it's raining, I don't know if you guys will be able to hear when we enter the poultry house. Yeah, so we have 5,000 chickens inside that unit. Yeah, and I want us to go inside there so you guys can see them all. So I could take the ramp to go to the upper floor or go to the lower floor, but I won't go to the upper floor because the upper floor, since it's drizzling a bit, there's a bit of rain falling on the roof, so it will make a lot of noise for us. So we'll go to the lower floor where it might be easier for me to talk while you guys are hearing. So you can see that we have a food dip. Very, very important if you have a poultry farm. Yeah, you can see it. To make sure that you don't introduce disease into your house, make sure that you do have a door that shuts, just like this. And here are the birds, guys. Here are the birds. So we've just finished brooding, guys. Yeah, these birds are like 3 weeks and 4 days. Today is their 4th day coming in. Yeah, 3 weeks and 4 days, as you can see them. And these are 5,000 chickens. When you put down and up together. So down here we have 2,500 chickens right now. This is 2,500 chickens. When I started farming, I started with 800 birds, slowly moved up to, 1,000, then 2,000, then 2,500. So for the past few years, I've been bringing batches of 2,500, but then now I need to make sure that for us to scale up, I need to make sure that I'm bringing 5,000 birds, because if I bring in 2,500 birds, right now I have a flock that I'm off-laying, it will just be replacing the flock that's being off-laid. So for us to be able to, keep growing, because currently we have 17,000 birds, that's without the other batch going away. So once it goes away, we're going to have 14,500 birds. For us to keep growing, I need to make sure that now I bring bigger numbers, yeah? So it's quite crazy to even think of the fact that currently I'm able to bring in 5,000 birds in one batch. Oh my God, it feels like a dream. Anyway, I'll take you guys around and show you, some of the things that I do that have enabled me to grow up to this point and, start making money, honestly. Right here are the birds. And just in case you're wondering, right here we have a battery. This battery will need to be built for, a place where it can stay safely. Yeah, because this is our solar battery. It's the one that's supplying power to all the entire house. So currently for this house, we're just using solar. We are not using electricity, hydroelectricity, We're using solar, and this is a lithium battery, yeah? You can see the birds running around. They seem very confused because it's very windy outside, and because it's windy, we have a bit of dust coming in, and these are young chicks. They're confused about the world, yeah? Everything that's happening to them, they're just learning. So when it got windy outside, and a bit of dust came in, they all took off and came this side, yeah? And when it got windy this side, they all took off and came this side. So, you can see them around, yeah? And in case you're wondering, is it too windy for them? No, that's why they have feathers. Chickens have feathers for a reason, yeah? If you can get close to them, they do have feathers. So right now, all the taplings are off. We don't lower any taplings or anything. The houses are completely empty. Luckily enough, we don't have rain coming in because this chicken house was built nicely. Yeah. So if I come here and just look here very nicely, you can see that we have a shade, going off on the side. That shade ensures that water doesn't come inside the house. I've seen people building poultry houses and they don't have that shade and rain comes inside the house. You don't want to do that, because if rain comes in, your litter, which is this wood shavings, are going to get wet. Yeah. And you guys can see how deep the litter is. Yeah, I mean, literally my entire gumboot is going in. Yeah, so the litter is actually deep, and the litter being deep is very important because it ensures that, you know, the house doesn't get wet. In case some water powers, you guys can see our drinkers. So we have drinkers right here, and these are automated drinkers. We are using automated water. So in case some of the water powers, it doesn't pour down on the litter, but if it pours down on the litter, it easily gets absorbed. You can just, you know, rake and turn the litter around and they'll dry. Also, once the birds like stay in one place and they poop on it, it doesn't get wet, because when the birds poop down on the litter, they keep scratching and it turns around, and so that ensures that the litter remains nice and dry, and so the entire house remains dry. So you can see the birds eating. Yeah, they're growing very nicely. Actually, they are on target. Actually, their weight is higher than, you know, what we expect them to be. Yeah, their weight is probably like 20 grams higher, which is good. But I mean, you want to make sure that your birds are not fat birds, because fat layers don't lay eggs. Fat layers don't lay eggs. So you want to make sure at the beginning it's quite good that the birds are a little bit overweight, because as they grow, usually their weight or their ability to maintain the weight, you know, reduces. Yeah, because at a particular point we're going to have to, you know, vaccinate them, for example, against fowl pox. That's a wing stab. That doesn't disturb them a lot. But after that, we have debeaking. Debeaking stresses them, and for maybe a week or so, they're not eating properly. They're going to lose a little bit of weight. So if they had some weight, then well, they're losing from the weight that they had. Also after that, we have fall typhoid at 10 weeks and at 16 weeks. Those are also very stressing vaccines. So having a little bit of extra weight is good, but if they have too much extra weight, that's a problem, because fat birds don't lay eggs. Yeah, layers are really prolific at laying eggs. These chickens of mine, I mean, right now I have a flock on the farm that's about 26 weeks old, and they're laying 99%, 99.4, 99.6, 99.9, 99.2% in terms of egg production. That's crazy. That's unbelievable. Yeah, and those birds are like 2 kilograms, in fact less than 2 kilograms, like 1.7, 1.8 kilograms in terms of weight. Yeah, so that's really amazing. That's really unbelievable. Yeah, but yeah, this flock of ours, a little bit overweight, like 10-20 grams overweight, but that's okay. It's not a problem, because at some point they're going to lose it. So it's good that we do have a head start. So right there you can see our brooding stoves. These are the brooding stoves we were using. We have 4 of them. These are locally made brooding stoves. We make them ourselves. Yeah, you can see it right here. Yeah, just in case you want to copy it and utilize it. It's what I use. Before I used to use pots, but I noticed that pots don't give off enough heat. They're good in terms of, you know, conserving charcoal or things like that, but they don't give off enough heat. Yeah, and so you need to use so many. Imagine how many pots you would need to use in this house to heat it up. You would need to use so many, and they don't give off enough heat because they're made from clay, so the heat doesn't escape very nicely. Yeah, so maybe they are good for someone who has like 20, 50, 100 birds, but if you're brooding 5,000 birds like here, it just doesn't make sense. So we use these brooding stoves. Just 4 of them is enough to utilize this in this house. Also right here we have, you know, these feeders. These feeders we were using initially. Yeah, they provide a bit of extra feeding space. We're using initially before we introduced these bigger feeders. So first we started with, you know, tray feeders. Ones you just place down and the birds eat from there. And then later on we added these ones to provide supplement and minimize the feed wastage. And then recently we introduced these adult feeders because the birds are now tall enough to reach them. Yeah, so these are the adult feeders that we are using. You can see our drinkers. Yeah, so this is an automatic drinker. I mean, if I can look there and zoom in, you can see the birds drinking from the automated drinkers. So as you guys can see, I mean, the birds are literally taking up the entire space. So this is 2,500 birds at the bottom, as you can see, and they're taking up the entire space already. And it's the same exact story with the top. Yeah, these are our solar lights, are the ones providing for us light. Right now we are still, you know, in the initial phases, and the birds use light or solar light, or they need light both day and night. They feed both day and night, so they are still using light, which is a good thing. Yeah, they have their feed inside there. I mean, they like roasting, so you just keep finding them resting on the feeders. And I think that's the main reason we're going to remove these feeders. Yeah, because instead of the birds you know, feeding, they're using them as roasting patches. And what that means is that you'll find that they are pooping inside their feed. Yeah, they are pooping inside their feed because they are standing on the feeders, because they are using them as patches. If I can zoom into that, you can see them. They are using them as roasting patches. Yeah, which is not a good thing. Yeah, they'll start pooping in their feed. So we're going to probably have to remove them from inside here. Yeah, and again, it's getting really windy outside, and so the birds are running away. Can you see that? Can you see that? Yeah? It's getting really windy outside, and so it's scaring the birds. They keep running to the sides and things like that. But I mean, that's the introduction to the rough world that we are in. And the birds will slowly get used to, you know, to this rough world. This right here is the solar panel that's, you know, providing power to the battery. You can see the water tank. Oh, the rain is coming. Yeah, the rain is coming. I hope it doesn't like properly pour, but the rain is coming. So that's how we raise our birds, guys. That's how we raise our birds. Of course, it's not as detailed, but I mean, you can see it and you can understand it. And just in case you're wondering, how can you get a more detailed video of the process and the steps that you require to start and raise your own poultry farm? I'll leave a link to a video in the description of this video where I talk about, you know, the steps that I go through and the steps that you need to take to enable yourself to actually build a thriving poultry farm. It's a beautiful video. Trust me, you'll love it. Catch you very soon with another one. Lots of love. Bye-bye.